Hey, Elliot Rodger here. I'm up in the hills in Montecito right now. It's truly a beautiful day. But, as I've always said, a beautiful environment is the darkest hell if you have to experience it all alone. And sadly, I've been alone for a very long time. Elliot Rodger here. Well, this is my last video. It all has to come to this. Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity, against all of you. For the last 8 years of my life, ever since I've hit puberty, I've been forced to endure an existence of loneliness, rejection, and unfulfilled desires, all because girls have never been attracted to me. Girls gave their affection and sex and love to other men, but never to me. I'm 22 years old, and I'm still a virgin. I've never even kissed a girl. I've been through college for 2.5 years, more than that actually, and I'm still a virgin. It has been very torturous. College is the time when everyone experiences those things such as sex and fun and pleasure. But in those years, I've had to rot in loneliness. It's not fair. You girls have never been attracted to me. I don't know why you girls aren't attracted to me, but I will punish you all for it. It's an injustice, a crime, because I don't know what you don't see in me. I'm the perfect guy. And yet you throw yourselves at all these obnoxious men instead of me, the supreme gentleman. I will punish all of you for it.
Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kate, and here on my channel I talk about true crime, mysteries, history, and anything that interests me. Please remember to show your support by liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and hitting the notification bell so you never miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you so much for being here. It means the absolute world to me. Make sure you get cozy, grab some snacks. Let's dive into another true crime story. So today I'm going to be talking about Elliot Rodger. A horrific case, very horrific case. So yeah, warning. There's a warning. I'm putting it up now. There it goes. All right. Elliot Rodger was born on July the 24th, 1991 in London, England. His mum, Lee Chin, is Malaysian Chinese, and she worked as a nurse during the making of movies like Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, and also The Princess Bride. His dad, Peter, he's British, and he worked in the film industry. He made commercials, and he worked on the 2012 film The Hunger Games. We've all heard of that. Elliot's granddad, George Rodger, he was a famous photographer known for his work during World War II. So Elliot's parents, they also had another kid, but they ended up getting divorced by the time Elliot was 7. His dad later remarried a Moroccan actress, and they had a son together. So from a young age, Elliot struggled with mental health issues, and he got treatment for various conditions, but he ultimately chose not to take his prescribed medications. His mum thought he might have Asperger's, even though he was never formally diagnosed with it. So in school, Elliot was bullied a lot, and he felt like he couldn't make friends. I actually have an opinion on this, but I'll save it for now. So some people later said that he pushed away their attempts to be friendly. Yeah, I'll also talk about that. So he also started a personal YouTube account and blog where he talked about feeling lonely and rejected. He also spent a lot of time in online communities that are known for being against women and feminism. Yeah, he was pretty rude when it came to women. Elliot bounced around a few high schools in LA before finally graduating from Independence Continuation High School in 2010. He also gave community college a shot, but ended up bailing because he felt like he was missing out when it came to women. So he bailed out of school because of that. Okay, he would see other couples together and he'd be like jealous and stuff, and he was like, I don't want to be here anymore, so he left. So in an attempt to help him make friends, his parents helped him move to the Isla Vista area and switched to Santa Barbara City College. But he got fed up with his lack of social life, especially with women, and eventually stopped going to his classes. So Elliot had moved to Isla Vista back in 2011 to go to the Santa Barbara City College, but he ended up leaving in 2012. During that time, there were a bunch of incidents where he threw or sprayed people with drinks because he was jealous. In July of 2011, Elliot was at Starbucks when he saw a couple kissing. He got really mad and ended up throwing his coffee at them. The guy yelled at him, so Elliot kind of just panicked and ran away. Then just a few days before his 20th birthday, he was at a food court and he saw another couple kissing. He's feeling quite jealous about this, and he followed them in his car and then splashed them with iced tea. Yeah. So then in January of 2012, Elliot was driving past a bus stop and he saw two blonde women. So he was like trying to be friendly. He smiled at them as he's going past, but apparently they didn't smile back, and he got pretty stroppy about that and ended up throwing his latte at them. Then in July of 2012, while Elliot was walking alone at a park, he saw some college students playing kickball. He was overwhelmed by envy when he saw this blonde woman interacting with this group of men, and Elliot went to Kmart. He purchased a super soaker and filled it with orange juice. Then he returned to this park and sprayed the students while yelling at them. He's bloody trouble, honestly. Like, how dare people have fun? Honestly, it's stupid. It's ridiculous. It's actually super annoying how he behaved. Like, who does that? Goes to Kmart, gets his, a water gun and sprays people with juice. First off, annoying. Secondly, what the hell? So Elliot's parents knew that their kid was struggling, so they got him some professional help. They took him to see a therapist called Charles Sophie in late 2012, and the therapist suggested a medication called risperidone. I think that's how you say it. But after looking it up online, so he did the little Google search, he was like, yeah, no, I'm not taking that. He didn't like the side effects that it could possibly give him. After that, he stopped going to this therapist and completely just did not even try with his mental health. In 2013, when asked how he dealt with his anger towards his peers, he just said that he kept it all bottled up inside, which he didn't. But also, a family friend called Dale Lorna mentioned that he gave Elliot advice on how to approach women in a better way, but Elliot didn't take his advice. He just did what he wanted to do. So Dale also remembered that when he first met Elliot at the age of 8 or 9, he could already tell that there was something not quite right with this kid. Then on July 20th, 2013, he went to a party and tried to talk to some girls, but apparently they just kind of ignored him. They thought he was a bit weird. After that, he tried to push these girls off a high ledge, but ended up getting pushed off by the other guys that were there instead. He left that party, but then he came back later to get his sunglasses and he got beaten up by some dudes. Yeah, so he pissed off some people and then came back. That was stupid. He shouldn't have gone back. So when he talked to the police about it, they thought he might have been the one that was causing trouble, which they are correct. He was. He was being a dickhead. So this incident, according to him, was the start of his plan to get revenge. Yeah. Also, Elliot started seeing a life coach called Gavin Lindemann in LA. And Gavin told Elliot's mum that he should leave Isla Vista. So Elliot's mum, she basically gave him two choices. He either goes to a residential treatment centre for therapy and, a bit of relaxation, or he can stay at her house with her and she'll look after him, and he can get some intense treatment from a therapist and social worker. But Elliot was like, I'm not doing either of those, Mum. And he was like, you can just keep paying my rent at the apartment that he's in. So yeah, he told her that he made some friends, but I don't think he did. Apparently he was talking to a counselor, but I don't think he was. And also because Elliot was an adult, there was no legal way to make him move unless he got sectioned, which he wasn't. So his mum talked to the therapist and they suggested that maybe she should just help her son to achieve his goal of staying and maybe getting back into school, finishing school. Elliot also received support from 3 counselors in Santa Barbara, attending about 29 sessions from May 2013 to May 2014. He liked his 2 male counselors and he admired their ability to socialize with women. He also got along well with his female counselor, but he didn't like the idea of having to pay to talk to a woman. He's a bit sexist. A bit. He's a lot sexist. So in September, Elliot used his pocket money that he'd saved up that his parents and grandparents gave him, and he used it to fund his twisted crimes that are about to unfold. He went to shooting ranges and also bought 3 handguns from 3 different cities, make it a little bit more difficult to track. He also started working on a manifesto about his thoughts and experiences, which he called My Twisted World, the story of Elliot Rodger. In his manifesto, Elliot talked about feeling like women were rejecting him, but he wasn't looking for a real connection or someone to be, equal with. No, he wanted a hot blonde to hook up with, someone to have sex with, someone to have on his arm. He wanted to have a woman who was like a trophy. And when women turned him down, which they did, and they had every right to do, he got shitty. He got mad. He's like, why don't you want to date me? And it's like, he's not ugly. He's just got a shit personality, honestly. So on January 25th, 2014, Elliot busted his roommate James Hong swiping his candles, and he made a citizen's arrest. James admitting to taking these candles, but the police let him off because, it's freaking candles. Really, Elliot? Candles? You're gonna... a citizen's arrest? Just take the candles back. Problem solved. Be like, don't do that again, man. But this guy, full-on citizen arrest, tackled to the ground. So Elliot actually uploaded a video on his YouTube channel on the day that he went on his murderous rampage. I'll say a bit of what he said. Okay, so he said, well, this is my last video. It all has to come to this. Tomorrow is the day of retribution, the day in which I will have my revenge against humanity, against all of you. For the last 8 years of my life, ever since I hit puberty, I've been forced to endure an existence of loneliness, rejection, and unfulfilled desires, all because girls have never been attracted to me. Girls gave their affection and sex and love to other men, but never me. I'm 22 years old and I'm still a virgin. I've never even kissed a girl. I've been through college for 2.5 years, more than that actually, and I'm still a virgin. It has been very torturous. College is the time when everyone experiences those things such as sex and fun and pleasure. Within those years, I've had to rot in loneliness. It's not fair. You girls have never been attracted to me. I don't know why you girls aren't attracted to me, but I will punish you for it. It's an injustice, a crime, because I don't know what you don't see in me. I'm the perfect guy, and yet you throw yourselves at those obnoxious men instead of me, the supreme gentleman. He thought he was the supreme gentleman. Oh my god. Elliot was really upset that apparently the white girls didn't like him and that they liked black guys. He thought being white made him more attractive, and he talked about this a lot in online and in his writings. So Elliot wrote in his manifesto, how could an inferior, I'm sorry, he's about to say something racist, and I don't like this, but I have to say it because it's what he said. So he goes, how could an inferior, ugly black boy be able to get a white girl and not me? I am beautiful, and I am half white myself. I am descended from Britain. He is descended from slaves. I deserve it more. I'm sorry I had to say that. He wrote online, "Full Asian men are disgustingly ugly and white girls would never go for you. You're just butthurt that you were born as an Asian piece of shit. So you lash out by linking these fake pictures. You even admit that you wish you were half white. You'll never be half white and you'll never fulfill your dream of marrying a white woman. I suggest you jump off a bridge." Is he freaking kidding me? So to Elliot, non-white races were disgusting and unworthy of the grand prize, which was a white woman. No, we're not the grand prize. Elliot was actually mixed race. His mum is, Moroccan Chinese. Elliot's racism is probably a product of self-hate. He privileged the side of him that was white and European, but completely demeaned the other parts of him. I wonder how his mother felt. On April 30th, Elliot's parents saw his YouTube videos and they were like, what the actual hell? They freaked out. So they called the police. When the officers showed up to his house and talked to him, he kind of brushed it off, just, it's no big deal. And they didn't do a search or anything. At the time, Elliot had been planning his killing spree and had 2 handguns in his possession there already. He claimed in his manifesto that a search would have ruined all of his plans. They didn't search his house. They just kind of went, oh yeah, all good, see ya. I really wish they had have searched. Maybe taken, his parents a bit more seriously. So his last manifesto, it said, "I didn't start this war. I wasn't the one who struck first, but I will finish it by striking back. I will punish everyone, and it will be beautiful. Finally, at long last, I can show the world my true worth." Okay, I'm about to talk about the horrific events that take place. So if you aren't in a very good headspace, please do click out now and come back another time, because it is horrible what this guy goes on to do. All right, here we go. On May the 23rd, 2014, 22-year-old Elliot Rodger, carrying 6 and 8-inch SRK and 9-inch bore hunting knife, first attacked his roommate, 20-year-old David Wang, and he entered the apartment. As David tried to defend himself, he was stabbed 15 times and he suffered 23 slashes. Elliot then dragged David's body to the corner of a bedroom and threw him on the floor face down, partially covering him with a blanket, towels and clothing. Then 20-year-old James Hong, Elliot's other roommate, who was still wearing his backpack as he entered the apartment, he was ambushed by Elliot, and despite his attempts to try and defend himself, James was stabbed 25 times and slashed 12 times. Elliot then dragged his body to the same bedroom because these 2 flatmates shared a room, and he threw him face down halfway on top of David's body, also concealing his body with blankets and clothing. The final victim, 19-year-old George Chen, who was a friend of Elliot's flatmates, arrived at the apartment to visit them. As he entered, Elliot lunged. He attacked him, he stabbed him. It says 94 times, but I don't know if that's a typo. And he slashed him 11 times as he attempted to defend himself. Elliot then left George's body in the bathroom in a pool of blood. He tried to clean the apartment, so the hallways, and he's there was blood splatter everywhere, but he didn't do a very good job. He tried to clean the bathroom. He tried to do like a really mediocre kind of a clean. He was covered in blood, and yeah, it was a mess. It was a mess. So after killing his 2 flatmates and his flatmate's friend, he took off his blood-soaked clothing and he went and had a shower. He got himself dressed into some fresh clothes and he headed out the front door. He went to a Starbucks and he bought a triple vanilla latte while he was texting his mum. So he was texting his mum and then he goes, "Oh yeah, I'll call you later." And that was the last message. Less than 2 hours after his Starbucks visit, Elliot emailed a 137-page manifesto called My Twisted World, the story of Elliot Rodger, to 34 people, including his parents, friends, and therapists. He then uploaded a video on YouTube called Elliot Rodger's Retribution. His mum was alerted by a call from her son's life coach, Gavin Lindemann, to check her email, and because he'd sent her an email, the same email. She read his manifesto before finding the retribution video online. She was in shock and rage, and she called Elliot's dad. That's when they both went in separate vehicles and rushed towards the university while contacting the police on the way. Then Elliot went to the Alpha Phi sorority house with 3 semi-automatic pistols, additional ammunition strapped to his waist, and a full gas can. He tried to open the door by pulling the handle before he started typing on the keypad numerous times, but he couldn't get in. He then knocked on the door for over 3 minutes, so he's just banging on the door trying to get in. He was unable to enter, and he got frustrated, and he put the gas can down. He returned to his car, where he then noticed 3 members of the Delta 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 sorority. They were 19-year-old Veronica Wise, 22-year-old Catherine Cooper, and 20-year-old I don't know her name. Oh no, I don't know her name. I'm so sorry, guys. She was a part of the Alpha Phi sorority. As the 3 women were walking back to their sorority house, Elliot slowly drove up to them and rolled down his passenger side window. He fired multiple rounds. Then he sped away. A lot of people saw this happening, and as the women lay bleeding on the grass, one person started giving Catherine Cooper CPR, while another tried to comfort Veronica by holding her head and speaking to her. But when the police arrived, the 2 women, they had died. Catherine managed to call her mum and was crying repeatedly that she was going to die. A deputy arrived to provide aid to her, applying pressure to her wounds. A bystander then came and continued to administer first aid while the deputy joined the pursuit of Elliot. A person on the scene took the phone and told Catherine's mum that her daughter was going to survive. They were trying to console her. They really hoped that she was going to survive. I can only imagine how her mother must have been feeling in that moment. It is a devastating story, honestly. Then after leaving the sorority house, Elliot made a 3-point turn in a driveway on Pardell Road. As he drove past a coffee shop on Pardell, he fired a shot into it. But luckily the shop was actually closed and no one was hurt. He then proceeded to the Ivy Deli Mart, where he unleashed a barrage of gunfire at individuals nearby. 20-year-old Christopher Michaels-Martinez was at the deli's entrance. When he briefly turned around, he looked at Elliot's car, and then he was shot. He was shot in his chest, resulting in injuries to his liver and the right ventricle of his heart. They were life-threatening injuries. Christopher managed to stumble into the deli, but he ultimately fell to the ground. Elliot continued to fire additional shots into the deli, shattering windows as people scrambled for cover. Then he drove away, and despite CPR attempts by a 19-year-old woman and sheriff's deputy, sadly Christopher did lose his life that day on the scene from his injuries. Elliot then continued driving. He purposely hit a man with his car, causing him to be thrown into the air. He was driving on the wrong side of the road, and he hit another person and fired at 2 people on the sidewalk, but luckily he missed. He then shot a couple that were leaving a pizzeria and a female cyclist. After turning onto several streets, Elliot exchanged gunfire with a sheriff's deputy, and he also purposely hit 2 pedestrians with his vehicle again. Then he shot and injured 3 people on Sabato Tardy Street. He hit a skateboarder and 2 cyclists with his vehicle on purpose, and then shot 2 other men at another intersection. He was on a rampage. Near the intersection of El Embarcadero and Sabado Tarde, he had a shootout with 4 sheriff's deputies and got shot in the hip. He then turned onto several side streets, pulling the gun to his head, and he pulled the trigger, causing his car to hit another cyclist who tumbled and damaged the car's windshield. Elliot's car eventually crashed into another parked vehicle. As police surrounded his vehicle, they mistakenly handcuffed the cyclist. They thought that he was involved, but he wasn't. They soon did realize that the cyclist was actually a victim. He wasn't involved in the attacks at all. At all. That's when the police provided him with some medical care because this guy had been hit by the car. The police looked in the vehicle and they found Elliot deceased from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to his head. Inside his car, authorities found a Glock 34 long slide handgun with 7 loaded 10-round magazines, 2 SIG, SOA P226 handguns with 34 loaded 10-round magazines, over 500 additional rounds of live ammunition, and the 2 knives that he had used to kill his roommates and their friend. The entire shooting spree unfolded within 8 minutes, during which Elliot discharged approximately 55 9mm rounds. During the shootings, he used only one of the 3 pistols, which was discovered on the driver's seat of his vehicle. Wow. At this time, Elliot's parents were on their way still to Isla Vista. Elliot's dad, Peter, and his stepmom, along with Lee Chin, his mum, drove separately. Peter kept calling his son's phone. He was trying to reach him. He could not get hold of him. Both parents were also in touch with the police over their phones, so the police knew they were on their way. When they arrived, the police told them to wait in a nearby Home Depot parking lot for more information. So they went over there and they waited. A sheriff later showed up and explained to them that their son had died and confirmed, it was him by his driver's license. Shocked by this news of their son's death, his parents initially thought that he was a victim and didn't know he was the perpetrator until hours later when they saw reports on the internet. I don't understand that part. When I read that, I was like, what? How did they? Anyway. Following the attacks, law enforcement obtained a search warrant and conducted a protective sweep of Elliot's apartment. After removing a window screen, authorities looked inside, and that's when they found George Chen's body laying in a fetal position on the bathroom floor. They broke into the apartment and also found the bodies of David and James in their shared bedroom. Police removed a 6 by 5 foot portion of carpet from the shared bedroom and cut a portion of vinyl flooring from around the toilet in the bathroom. Additionally, they cleaned a few feet of blood-stained carpeting that separated the bedroom and bathroom. I'm not sure why. When they searched Elliot's bedroom, they found it was a complete mess. He was a slob. They found pharmacy documents for prescriptions, 2 gun cleaning kits, Monster energy drinks, lottery tickets, a couple of The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, various video games, and a Starbucks coffee cup. Apparently he used to spend a lot of money on lotto tickets. He had this thing with lotto tickets. He wanted to be rich. Yeah. He'd buy lotto tickets all the time and then get shitty if he didn't win. He'd spend all his money on lotto tickets. Additionally, police found a folding knife, a zombie killer knife with a 10-inch blade, an 18-inch blade machete, and a sledgehammer, and multiple other knives. They discovered his bed sheets and pillows were stabbed repeatedly, indicating that he was practicing before he went on his killing spree. Police also found a hand-drawn picture of something getting stabbed and a printed copy of Elliot's 137-page manifesto. His laptop was also found open to YouTube, displaying his recently uploaded retribution video. A handwritten journal was left open to an entry dated May the 23rd, 2014, and it said, I had to tear some pages out because I feared my intentions would be discovered. I taped them back together as fast as I could. This is it. In 1 hour, I will have my revenge on this cruel world. I hate you all. Die. My goodness. In an interview, David Wang's parents, this is one of the flatmates, said their son wanted to move out because Elliot wasn't very sociable. He complained to the building manager that Elliot would play really loud music in the middle of the night, and they couldn't sleep, they couldn't study, it wasn't working for them. David had actually found a new apartment, and he had planned to move into this new apartment with some of his friends in the next semester. It's just really sad that he never got to do that. He never got away. In June 2014, Elliot's body was released from the coroner's office, and he was ultimately cremated. Students and the community came together at a park in Isla Vista on the night of May the 24th, 2014, for a candlelit gathering to remember the victims. 3 days later, on May the 27th, over 20,000 people attended a memorial at the university's Harder Stadium. During this memorial, Christopher Michaels-Martinez's dad, Richard Martinez, he spoke about his son. Oh, these poor parents, these poor kids. Elliot's rampage resulted in the deaths of 6 people, all University of California, Santa Barbara students, with 14 others sustaining injuries. The ones who died were 20-year-old David Wang, 20-year-old James Hong, 19-year-old George Chen, 22-year-old Catherine Cooper, 19-year-old Veronica Elizabeth Wise, and 20-year-old Christopher Ross Michaels-Martinez. They all lost their lives, and they're so young. In the time leading up to these tragic events, there were clear indicators and warning signals that pointed to Elliot's declining mental well-being. Concerned family members and mental health professionals had expressed serious concerns, but due to the fragmented nature of the mental health services and legal restrictions, addressing the severity of the situation posed significant challenges. This heartbreaking occurrence sparked important conversations about the vital need for improved mental health support and intervention measures. He should have been sectioned. Elliot Rodger's writings and videos gave us a troubling look into his troubled world, his thoughts, the way he was. The way the media talked about the Isla Vista killings made people talk about whether the media should report on these kinds of events. Like right now, I didn't want to do this kind of story, but I feel like I wanted to talk about mental health. That was more where I was going with it. The sad event also made us all think about how ideas about what it means to be a man, dislike of women, and the pressures we all feel could make someone like Elliot Rodger, become extreme. After the Isla Vista killings, people came together to make positive changes. They talked about the importance of understanding mental health, the impact of harmful ideas about masculinity, and the dangers of online communities that spread hateful beliefs about women. Advocates worked to improve support for mental health, educate people about harmful ideas of masculinity, and keep a close eye on online communities that promote violence and hate. Racism, my God, it's horrible. The Isla Vista killings carried out by Elliot Rodger are a sad part of the ongoing conversation about mental health and how society can influence individual behavior. It's really important to understand what led Elliot to become violent so we can prevent similar tragedies in the future. His case reminds us how mental health, everyday pressures, and harmful beliefs can all come together and lead to such horrific violence. As we think about the impact of people like Elliot Rodger on our society, it's important for us to focus on improving mental health support, communication, and shifting away from harmful ideas about masculinity. This tragic situation encourages us to consider how we can build a society that notices when people are struggling and works to prevent the terrible outcomes of untreated mental health issues. It is so important. Oh, I have mental health issues, but I'm on medication for it. So I'm chill. He needed to take his meds. They were like he needed to be sectioned. What a tragic story. Oh my God. What do you guys think about this case? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. And please don't forget to hit the like button, turn on the notifications button, and subscribe for more of my videos. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video today. Be kind to one another. If you are feeling like your mental health is at risk, please do reach out for help. Feel free to reach out to me. I will talk to anyone. Honestly, I'm not qualified or anything, but I'm an ear. Have a wonderful day, and please do be safe and be happy. Smile back. If someone smiles at you, smile back, please. Anyway, that's me. Bye guys.